What is good, y'all? I haven't done a video in such a long time, but I'm back for real this time. And today I wanted to talk to you about my top 10 favorite movies of the year so far. So it's going to be 10 movies. They're all going to be in order, you know me. And yeah, I noticed after I did the list that I have like 3 or 4 sequels, which I didn't expect that. So yeah, let's just start off with my number 10, and that is God Is, directed by Alicia Harris. There's a lot of biblical references. It's a simple revenge story, but then when you actually sit back and see underneath that line, underneath the surface, there's a lot of metaphors, biblical references that'll go over your head the first time you watch it. I really think this is one of those movies you have to watch more than once, and just to really appreciate it. But other than that, it was a fun time. Great performances. Sterling K. Brown was barely in it, like in the last 25-30 minutes. One of the most memorable parts of this movie. And yeah, no, I had so much fun. It wasn't a slow moment, and it was like an hour 40. It was very quick. As soon as it ended, I was like, wow, I really wanted that to keep going because there was just a lot going on and I wasn't bored at all. So my number 9 is Send Help, directed by Sam Raimi. There's a lot of plot twists. Rachel McAdams, she is the star of this shit. And Dylan O'Brien, he did a great job too. Very well made. Most of the film was in one location. This film really had an approach where it was like, you don't really know who the bad guy is. You know, there was a lot of back and forth with, oh, I'm the evil one. No, I'm the evil one. No, I'm the evil one. You try to build an affinity for a character, but then they immediately snatch it. And this movie does that a lot, and that's why I'm a huge fan of it. My number 8, Toy Story 5, directed by Andrew Stanton. This is my favorite movie series of the whole Pixar world. Toy Story 1, amazing. Toy Story 2, amazing. 3, amazing. 4, nah, crash and burn to me. And 5 really stepped it up. I thought 5 was better than 4. 5 really had an interesting take on it with the whole tech side. And you know, I didn't grow up in really that era. I mean, like, I was a teenager when all that shit was really popular. But when I was a kid, I was outside. And this really had a different type of take on it with, I feel like a lot of parents would appreciate this movie because they can relate. I feel like the past Toy Stories, I mean, kids can relate to it too, no doubt. But this one has the deepest connection with the parents because, like, it's just like, damn. A lot of kids nowadays, they don't even talk to one another. You have fucking siblings that are just literally on their phones, on their tablets, on the game, whatever. And they really fleshed it out in the best way. I liked it. I liked the background of Jesse's story. Bonnie, I really like Bonnie. Bonnie was such like an outcast kid, and she reminded me so much of myself when I was younger. Like when I was like her age, about like 6 or 8 years old. She had these friends that were cyber bullies, and she actually connected with a real friend in the end of the story. And it was incredible. I liked it a lot. It was very touchy. There was a lot of good moments, feel good moments, and you're gonna get that with a Pixar movie. But yeah, no, I feel like they did it right. Of course, they're gonna do a Toy Story 6 because this is a cash cow. If I were to rank them, it goes 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. So my number 7 is Alpha by Julia DeCornell. She is the same director that did Raw. She did Titan. So her world is really just like having this body horror element. And she did that on this, but it was kind of like more of a drama feel with it. The performances between the mother and the daughter, specifically the mother, was just incredible to me. I thought that she kind of carried the movie. But this was a really sad movie. It was a very sad and melancholic movie, and I liked it because it was kind of like completely different from her other 2 movies, and it showed growth in her directing. It showed growth in her storyboard and in her writing. I really found this one impressive, and it was a somber tone. It was a somber feeling. It immediately stayed in my brain for like the next week or so after I watched it, and I was like, I really have to rewatch it again just to understand it more. And I did, and I love it now. I mean, kind of got panned by the critics, and, you know, a lot of her fan base of the previous movies were kind of like tearing this one apart because it was so different from the other ones. But I thought she did a great job. It showed evolution, it showed growth, and the story was very interesting to me, and that's why it's on this list. My number 6, 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, directed by Nia DaCosta. I was worried about this movie too because I liked the first one, 28 Years Later, but it ended kind of in the goofiest way. And it made sense why it ended in that way. But it ended in the goofiest way that it had me have low hopes. And I was just kind of like, I don't know if I want to watch the next one in the theater. I was like, nah, I'll watch that one on streaming. Whatever. Then when they put it on Netflix, and I was like, okay, let me actually take the time and watch this movie. I was like, dude, I should have watched this in the theater. Way better than the first one. Had better direction. This movie was better focused. I like the performances of this one a lot better. The other one was like super scattered, and it was just like, okay, we're dealing with this part right here with his dad, with the mother, with him. And I get it, you know, they're trying to introduce you to the characters, but like this one, it just felt way better because the characters had a lot more things to do. There was a lot of slow moments in the movie, and the jump scares are really good too because it didn't feel cheap. It didn't feel like, oh, this is predictable, this is stupid. It didn't feel corny. But this one, from the moment that it started, minute one, all the way to the end, and specifically those last 30 minutes, the Iron Maiden sequence, that was fucking phenomenal. The bar was in hell. And then when I saw it, I was like, damn, no, that was really good. Night and day difference from the last 28 years later. And I hope, I'm not sure if Nia DaCosta is doing the next one, but if she is, bruh, keep on shooting it, keep on going crazy because you killed it with this one. I loved it. So my number 5 is Project Hail Mary, directed by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller. This is another movie that I had low expectations. I mean, like, I'm a huge sci-fi guy, but I feel like I was really into it more when I was a kid. You can tell that this took like years in the making. Ryan Gosling did a great job. That dynamic between him and Rocky was just like something that I thought was gonna be dumb. Oh, this is stereotypical, this is stupid. And then when it kept going, I was like, nah, I really like the relationship. I really like their dynamic. They pump faked a lot of the deaths, but that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. This isn't that type of movie like that where I'm gonna expect, you know, a body count. There was a lot of backstory. They showed you a lot of lore between Ryan Gosling's character and how he ended up where he ended up. And I just really liked it, man. My number 4, this I think is the first action film, or I think the only action film really on my list. And that is The Furious, directed by Kenji Tanigaki. This film is fucking insane. You don't go into this expecting some like deep intellectual type of story. The fighting scenes were just incredible. It reminded me of The Raid. I know this is kind of like a take on The Raid. The Raid is one of my favorite movies of all time. If you know me, that is legit one of my favorite action movies. This is the best action movie I've seen so far this year. Nothing comes close. They really took their time with this. I really like that they're gonna make, or it feels like they're gonna make a sequel. Usually I like things that are just one and done, but this I feel like needed a sequel, but it's gonna be like a sequel prequel because you're gonna find out the main guy's backstory. They made it seem like, you know, the two protagonists were gonna hate each other throughout the whole movie. Their fighting scenes when they first met up were great. The end of the movie, that last 20-30 minutes, these movies this year have ended so good. When it's the 4-man fight sequence, bruh. What a fucking sequence. Incredible timing. Everything was just so good. And they were fighting dirty. It was a very realistic aspect to it because like in a fight, in a street fight, bruh, you're gonna see whatever surrounding you, you're gonna throw it at somebody if you're in a fight. It doesn't matter. It was not a waste of time. It was another hour and 30 minutes. The whole time it was gripping. Such a fun time in the theater. It was just great. Amazing. So my last few movies are very typical, really. These movies have been the talk of the town of the year, to be honest. But they were incredible, rightfully so. And to start off with that, on my top 3 is the drama directed by Christopher Borley. A24 has really had a hell of a year this year. And this is one of the reasons why. I really like the drama. Zendaya's performance was outstanding. Robert Pattinson's performance, he's always good. Like, he's not the Twilight guy. He's always good in anything he's in. He was whining the whole time. You weren't supposed to like him, but he did a great job in this fucking film. I adored the story. It was such an interesting take because you really thought, damn, what would you do in that situation? Obviously, this movie was literally a whole hour and 45 minutes, hour and 50 minutes of people overreacting. It's just a very interesting take. I think they did a great job. The writing was amazing. My favorite thing about this film was easily the editing. This guy really did a great job. I'm not sure if Christopher was the same guy that edited it. I'm pretty sure he was. Bruh, did a great job directing, did a great job editing this. That's enough said about that. My number 2, Obsession, directed by Curry Barker. I did a video on this. This is my last video. I dropped it the weekend that Obsession came out. This is, you know, one of the best horror movies of the year. What can I say that hasn't been said? And I already said it in my previous video. Obsession to me was great. 750K. And from the moment I did that video, I think I said that it was like nearing 100 or already eclipsed 100 mil. Now that's just at 400 mil a month later. Just masterclass. It was a very simple story, something that we've seen plenty of times before, but in the way that they did it, I thought it was creative. But the best thing about this movie, and I said it before in the previous video, was just the performances. Andy Navarrete was just wow. I haven't seen a horror performance like this in a minute. So yeah, she did a phenomenal job. The talk of this movie is this is the greatest horror of the decade or the past 25 years. Please watch more movies if you feel that way. I'm not trying to be an asshole, but please watch more movies if you feel that way. And if you have watched a lot of movies, horror movies, and you feel that way, kudos to you. I just don't know how you can say this is the best horror of the decade if you watch more than 2 horrors. And this is one of them, you know what I'm saying? But whatever. I love Obsession. Curry Bark, I'm here for anything he does, and he got a fan in me. My number 1 of the year, I already talked about Obsession. Obsession's partner in crime, from the talk of the town of the last month all the way up to this point. You already know, and if you know me, you know why this is number 1. And it is Backrooms, directed by Kane Parsons. Easily my favorite movie of the year. When I first watched it, I was super confused on what was going on, but I think that was the point. You weren't supposed to get everything. I had a couple theories. I had a couple things in my head, a couple like outliers that you was just thinking like, oh, maybe it was this, maybe it was that. But then when I watched it again, it fucking like a light bulb went over my head. And I was like, wow, that's what this is about. Or at least that's the commentary that this is trying to take a swing on. I loved it. I've seen this movie maybe like 4 times in a theater. It was just such a great time. People that were complaining, oh, it's slow, this and that, please get off fucking TikTok. This one was so well done. There wasn't as many characters. There's maybe like 4 characters. When he walks into the back rooms and you're just like, this shit is so weird. It gave me kind of like a little bit of a Stranger Things, which if you know me, I don't like Stranger Things at all. But, well, the last 2 seasons. But this film gave me like a David Lynch. And if you know me, you know David Lynch is my favorite filmmaker ever. But it gave me like a David Lynch type of vibe because it just felt so surreal. The performances, like I said, it was only 4 people. Really 2 people because the other 2 like disappeared really fast. But the 2 performances were great. It was just outstanding. Some of the best performances I think I've seen of the year. The more you watch it, the more you consume this movie, the more you think about it, the better it gets. I've seen this movie, like I said, 4 times in the theater, and it was not slow. I was not bored at any point. Every time I watched it, I picked out something new. You really have to pay attention to the dialogue of this film. A lot of things will go over your head the first time you watch it. So if you just go in and you're just like, oh, this doesn't make sense. Oh, this is dumb. You're not really thinking about what's being said. You're just like, oh, this is stupid. A lot of people have to be spoon-fed to enjoy something, which is fine. You know, like there's nothing wrong with that. A24 is back on a good note for me. They were on watch for me for the longest, but this really brought it back to me. A24 killed it. Backrooms. Kane Parsons is only 20 years old. He might be 21 by this point, but 20 years old, and you did this. Obviously, you got mad help, but still, YouTube is really killing the game. Curry Barker, Kane Parsons, really killing this shit. They're the talk of the town this whole year. And yeah, that's really my list. I do have other videos coming through. I wanted to talk about Olivia Rodrigo's album, the new album. I know I'm like 3-4 weeks late by this point, but that album is so good that I just want to talk about it. And then I also have a movie review, Ken Park. Ken Park, wild movie. I want to talk about that. That's all I gotta say, and I'll catch y'all later. I'm out. Peace.